Hey guys, I'm going to now give an in-depth preview of McMahon the Punky QB's lineup this week. He's projected for 113.6 points this week. And I'm going to read his full lineup real quick, give you a quick overview, and then I'll go a lot more in depth on each player. At quarterback, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Running back, of course, he's got Zeke and Phillip Lindsay. Receivers, he's going Tyler Boyd. And then he has Curtis Samuel at the other receiver slot. I'm predicting he's going to switch to Kenny Galladay, so I'm putting him in there for this breakdown. And then he's got Eric Ebron at tight end. His flex, I think he's going Allen Robinson. Defense, he's got the Bills. Kickers, got Harrison Butker. So let's start out with Aaron Rodgers. He's playing at Chicago this week. That's going to be a tough game. We just saw last week what they can do to offenses. They totally shut down the Rams. I didn't even think that defensive performance like that was possible. But Chicago, cold weather game. Real tough matchup. He's projected for 17.4, which is pretty low for Aaron Rodgers. His average is 19.6 on the year, and this is even a down year for Rodgers. So ESPN's really projecting, a not a great Rodgers game. Chicago is actually 10th in the pass, allowing 226.7 yards a game. It should be noted, and I talked about on the previous videos, that Bryce Callahan actually broke his foot. He's a slot guy. He's really been improving he's a really good slot guy. So he won't be playing. They got a loaded D. Khalil Mack, obviously. Akeem Hicks is having they got a guy at every position. Roquan Smith was a great pick in the top 10 this year. Danny Trevathan. They got a Mukamura on the outside, Fuller on the other side. Eddie Jackson's one of the best safeties in the league now from Alabama. Of course, Adrian Amos. They're loaded. They got Vic Fangio, of course, a great defensive coordinator. I think he'll be dying up blitzes to get Aaron Rodgers off the spot this week. They got 25 interceptions, which is by far, it's first in the league by 6, I believe. So we'll see if Aaron Rodgers coughs it up a couple times, but I think 17, he's going to float around 17. It's a pretty spot-on projection, in my opinion. Next, we got Zeke going against Indianapolis Colts. He's projected for 19.6. Indianapolis has been solid against the run. This is not the same Indianapolis defense that we saw like Garrett Blunt and Jonas Gray run over in recent years. They're 8th in the league at 102.9 yards allowed a game rushing, about 3.8 yards per carry, which is 6th in the league. They've allowed 10 rushing touchdowns, which is about middle of the pack. So if Zeke, they're going to feed him the rock no matter what, no matter who they're playing. It's all about if he can get a touchdown or not. We'll see how he does in the passing game. Colts got some pretty good players. Darius Leonard, good pick. Malik Hooker's playing well. Should be noted that Zach Martin actually re-injured his knee, in the official diagnosis is sprained medial collateral ligament, and he might not play. It looked bad when he went down against the Eagles last week, but he might play, might not play. It's a game-time decision. If he doesn't play, he's a big staple of that run game. I think that could affect Zeke a lot. It's something to keep an eye on. Next, Phillip Lindsay playing against the Cleveland Browns, but he's projected for 15.8 points a game. Cleveland, they got some names in their front seven, but their run D is not that good. They have let up 17 rushing touchdowns in the year. It's second to last in the league. They're near the bottom, 22nd in the league on yards per attempt, 4.7 yards per carry. And Denver's consistently trying to run the ball, especially the Emmanuel Sanders. I think they're going to give Phillip Lindsay a lot of run. I think 15-8 is pretty fair. I think you can even expect, I think he might even get close to 20. I think around 20, I'm thinking him, because he's gonna be a factor in the passing game too. They're just increasing his workload more and more. He had to jump Royce Freeman, because obviously Royce Freeman has more draft capital as being a 3rd-round pick, I believe, and obviously Phillip Lindsay was undrafted. So he really worked his way up, and now he's just established himself as a factor back in them. So he's gonna continue to get more workload. Receiver Tyler Boyd is playing Oakland. He's projected for 11.1 points a game. I think that's even rather low. Except Jeff Driscoll, I think, might be starting. So he's not going to get a lot of accurate passes his way. But A.J. Green out. Tyler Boyd's getting a lot of targets, at least. We'll see. Oakland's not horrible against the pass. 18th in yards, 14th in completion percentage. But it should be noted they're 32nd yards per attempt. So I think it's just teams aren't passing on them because they're up so much against the lowly Raiders. They're 31st in passer rating, but I saw a couple of stats. A little surprised they're on 14th in completion percentage. So it seems like they're letting up a lot of big plays. We'll see if Tyler Boyd can get behind the safeties, Carl Joseph and cornerback Garyon Conley. I don't think those have been great picks so far. We'll see if Boyd can have a couple big plays. It should be noted Arden Key's a little banged up. He's a pretty good young player from LSU, I believe, and he's kind of their only. They got Maurice Hurst too, but they're kind of the only bright spots on their front seven now that Khalil Mack is shipped off to Chicago. Next year, Kenny Galladay projected for 10.1 against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's got a good defense. You watch them play; they got a really good secondary too. I think Tre'Davious White is one of the best corners in the league. Plus, he's only in his second year. He's from LSU also. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, some good players. They got Lorenzo Alexander, a wily veteran, rush from the edge. They're 10th in completion percentage allowed, first in yards, passing yards allowed, second in yards per attempt. Like I said, they got a lot of talent. So let's see. I think with Kerryon Johnson hurt, I think Detroit's really going to dial up those passes. I think you're going to see a lot of attempts from Matt Stafford, and they're going to be one-dimensional. They've been the past 5 years. So Galladay should get 10 plus targets this game. So I think he's going to get over 10 points, even though Buffalo's got a good defense. I just think the sheer volume, he's gonna have a good game. Next, you got Eric Ebron, former Detroit Lion, but now part of the Indianapolis Colts. He's going against the Dallas Cowboys, projected for 12.8. It's rather high for a 10. I know Ebron has been doing very well. He's been had some really good games, some really bad games. The good games, he's been feasted on touchdowns. Dallas is a great defense, don't get me wrong, but they haven't been great against the pass. They're 13th in yards per attempt in the league at 7.4, and the 9th in yards at 2,945 right now. Obviously, they got some good players to start with. I'm sure you heard a lot about them. Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith. I'm happy for the guy coming back from an injury. Safeties, they got Jeff Heath spaced out for a second. The guy Woods is pretty good too. Maybe Byron Jones gets some run at Ebron. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's all about if he gets a touchdown in this game. I think 12.8 is a little high personally for Ebron. I think he's going to get around 10. I think Mike should be happy with that. At flex, we got Allen Robinson. He's had a tough year so far for the Chicago Bears. He's going against the Green Bay Packers, and he's projected for 10.2 points a game. Packers have had a pretty good pass D so far. They're 8th in the league completion percentage at 62.9%. They're 8th in yards at 2,925 yards on the season. They got Jair Alexander from Louisville. He's a 17th or 18th overall pick, I believe. He's been playing real well. It's worth noting that Kentrell Bryce is a little banged up. He's their safety. At other safety, they got Tremont Williams, who he was a corner years past for them, but he's moved over to safety. He's getting a little older, 35, so we'll see where he looks. And then Josh Jackson, another rookie corner from Iowa, is playing. We'll see who lines up across Allen Robinson. Alexander's a little shorter guy. Josh Jackson's a little taller. We'll see how they play the matchups. And I think the other thing with Allen Robinson is just so many weapons in the Chicago offense. You never know what Maggie's going to go to. Wide receivers, he's competing against Taylor Gabriel, a quick little slot guy who's getting a lot of targets. Really, Trubisky really trusts him. And then Anthony Miller's been improving by the week. Also, tight end Trey Burton's going to steal some targets, like featuring him in the offense. And their offense, I think, kind of relies on Tariq Cohen. And, of course, Jordan Howard's going to get some runs. So there's just so many guys in offense for Allen Robinson to really have big games. But he's obviously a red zone threat. If he gets a couple touchdowns, he could break out. But I think 10's kind of a fair projection for him. Next, Mike is starting the Buffalo Bills at his defense. And they're going to get Detroit Lions, and they're projected for 7.7 points a game. I think that's pretty fair. It's in Detroit, so it'll be in that dome. Detroit is averaging a little over 20 points a game, which is 25th in the league. Their offense isn't that great. Kerryon Johnson's out, which I just mentioned earlier, so it's going to be Matt Stafford dropping back to throw 50 times a game or something like that. I think they should feast on him. I think they should try to the edge rushers will be penning the ears back, going for sacks, trying to get that ball out. A defensive touchdown could really propel this position. If Buffalo can get a defensive touchdown, this Bills D could get like 15 points this game. Maybe they get an interception. As I was talking about earlier, they got a good secondary. Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, they'll be ball hawking back there, waiting for Stafford to make a mistake. He's not one to he's always taking risks. He's not one to be conservative with the football. So we'll see how that plays out. They've had at least 6 points since week 9. So they're always good for at least, an average showing for a defense. So I think they've only got room to go up from there. I think they're going to get at least. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to get at least 10 points this game, honestly. And a kicker, Mike's got Harrison Butker, Chiefs kicker. They're playing the Los Angeles Chargers. I previewed this game a lot and past couple matchups. It's Thursday night game. It's going to be real high scoring in Los Angeles. It's going to be hot. Team's going to be throwing the rock. The ball's going to be traveling far. People are going to be making great plays. I think both teams are going to be in the 30s, and I think Harrison Butker is projected for 9.9 points a game. I think that's pretty fair. It's kind of a lot for a kicker. I think Mike should be pleased with that. I think he's going to reach that. So next I'm going to preview Dynasty Guru's team, and I hope you stick around.